We are live. Welcome, friends, family, DFS gamers. This is your boy TK Nation. I'm going to do some live streaming here for your Masters DFS picks, showdown slate, talk ownership, any kind of questions you may have. But this is a very exciting week ahead. I'm really excited for the Masters. As always, who isn't? We got, the par three, we were supposed to have the par three today, but they elected not to do it with COVID and everything. Um, but let's jump into some things. I'll talk for a little bit, and maybe some people will join in. If not, you will be able to watch this, I'm sure, after the live stream ends. Um, but yeah, I was going to talk on the weather tomorrow. We have some thunderstorms coming in. It looks like in the AM, likely to end around noon. So I think that kind of affects some showdown picks. It might even just totally throw off the first round where they might not start till noon. So we could get some delays. And with how dark it's going to get early on, I don't think they get the whole round in tomorrow. So we'll see. I'm going to go off ahead and say a couple of my favorite showdown picks. I do have cores up. So the cores for FSI are live in the Discord. If you want some access to that, you can find us at FSI DFS on Twitter. And you can get to our Discord channels from there, and you can get access to our core plays, and there's some really good content going. We have some odds correlated with our with where our with how the pricing is. John has been a big help today in getting some ownership projections up. I'm going to go through some of them with you right now. It looks like at the top he has Bryson around 16%. I think that has a lot to do with how the salary is for him at 11.2. I think people are struggling to make lineups, um, with how bad the 6K in the bottom of the 7K range is. I think you're going to get a lot of guys that are filling in rosters at a decent salary, going to be higher owned. Bryson is the obvious betting favorite. He's been crushing it in practices. What I'm told, he can make these par fives and two, just like everyone I think else can. I don't think that's a really shock to anyone, but Bryson is going to be really long on these par fours. He's going to have a wedge in. I think he's going to be a really sharp play this week at 16%. I'm probably going to be around 30 to 40% in my ownerships. We got Justin Thomas. He's going to be around. He's got him at 17%. I think it's going to be a little lower than that, honestly. I don't think many people are going to be clicking on Justin Thomas when Jon Rahm, Dustin Johnson, who is projected to be at around 23 to 25% ownership. I think Justin Thomas and Rory are going to be a little bit lower owned, and Bryson I think is going to be a little higher owned than what he has it at a calculated 16%. But as far as my favorite plays there, as discussed last night in the DFS picks, Dustin Johnson and Jon Rahm, and those are two guys that I'm really looking forward to playing tomorrow in Showdown. I'm going to do another 20 entries for Showdown lineups, and I think Dustin Johnson's going to be in almost half of them. So I really like him, and Jon Rahm is kind of like a slow starter, but he really starts to get it going in rounds 2 and 3. But he does have good round one odds, round one statistics at the Masters. Let's see what else we have here in this 9K range. We got 17% on Xander Schauffele. I think that's accurate. I think it actually might be higher. Brooks Koepka around 15, Patrick Cantlay at 13. I think that might be a little higher. Morikawa at 7. Morikawa hasn't been in the best of form, but at 7% ownership, that screams great GPP play. I think that'd be a good Millie Maker play with the kind of upside he has as one of the best iron players in the game. I'm getting a question here from FSI Zone, Jay Scott. He says, thoughts on Max Homa as a pivot off of Harding in the punt range. Max Homa, this is, I believe, his first time in the Masters this year. He's struggled. I wouldn't say he's been, an elite golfer as when he won. I can't remember what he won, but I believe he is kind of I would say MME play. I would consider Harding better upside. I think Justin Harding, with that 12th place finish last year, as I said in the picks article or in the picks video, Harding has some relatively decent form. The course history, Max Homa, this is going to be his first time out, so I think there's some tech difficulties. Sorry about that. What's going on here, Keith? Yeah, whatever you guys are hearing or seeing, if you can't hear me um, or you can't see me, let me know, and I will try to fix those issues as soon as possible. uh, yeah, but I'm just going to keep going. All right, Keith. All right. I hope I answered your question, Jay Scott. I think he's a decent MME play, but I would think Harding. I like Connors a little bit more than Max Homa. Lee Westwood's pretty cheap in that 7-2. Poulter looks like the back is going to be okay. I think John is really heavy in Poulter. I like Jason Kokrak is coming in around 14% calculated ownership from John. And I think that's pretty accurate. Kokrak is sneaky long off the tee. He's been playing really elite on the iron play. Was Max Homa in the Masters last year? No. I think he probably missed the cut if he did. I don't. No, I have nothing on Homa from the Masters last year. Let me know if it's still lagging. If you can see Jay Scott, if I'm still lagging, but hopefully it's not. But what I was getting to is, Lee Westwood, Poulter looks like the back's okay. Corey Connors, Charles Schwartzel, 6,500. He's been playing relatively well. He has that nice. All right, cool. No lag. All right, cool. If you saw me lagging a little bit, apologies for the technical difficulties. I hope that doesn't tear you away. But yeah, Charles Schwartzel, 6,500. Corey Connors, another name I like. Harding. Looks like CT Pan, pretty decent punt play. I think it's gonna, you're basically, you just want a made cut. I wouldn't expect much upside with even Harding. Like the 12th place is like a bonus. What he did last year, CT Pan, decent, approach, but his putting and he just kind of lacks everywhere else. I mean, there's a reason these guys are in the 6K range, but I don't mind them for punt plays. But I'm going to continue on with some ownership here. If you wanted to get into some ownership in this value range, I think maybe you can look to Munoz. Munoz is coming in at 12%. Surprisingly, he's got Siwoo Kim around 13%. I guess that would be another name. Siwoo is kind of like the boomer bust, but he's actually been relatively consistent of late. He's in years past, he was either dead last or first, but yeah, decently. Looks like he's going to be decently owned. That might lead a fade to me. I don't think Siwoo Kim would crush me in any way, shape, or form, especially without any kind of like Masters. I don't know, track record. Molinari, if you thought he righted the ship, this is basically like a no cut event in ways, except for when you're getting into some of these deeper plays. I think Molinari, even at like 6%, is a good play. I think I'm going to be overweight on Molinari, over that number at least. Lanto Griffin coming in around 9%. As mentioned, Corey Connors around 11%. You can look to maybe someone like Lucas Glover to make a cut. He's got really good, strokes gain numbers. Terrible putter though, but he's done fairly well in some big fields in the past. Matt Wallace is always a guy that gets name recognition, no matter the field, because of how well he can do in field sizes like this with elite golfers. Um, as mentioned on the DFS picks, John really likes Eric Van Rooyen. He's going to come in around 10% owned. I think that's going to be a little too high for me in MME style formats, but I think he would make for a pretty good single entry pick. What else we have here? You get some showdown punts. I think all the guys mentioned relatively well. I did do some numbers on some strokes gained total, and at Augusta, no surprise, the guys that have had more rounds are higher on this list. But Brooks Koepka, he fired 6 scoring and DK points last year in his lone round recorded. Well, I guess that's with one filter. You take that filter off. Yeah, he still comes in third in strokes gained total. Brooks Koepka coming off a good Houston Open. I think he would make for a pretty decent play tomorrow. As I mentioned on the DFS picks video, I really like Spieth. My boy Spieth is going to probably be a staple in my showdown lineups tomorrow, a guy that really starts out strong and then kind of fades toward the end. But I think I'm going to take advantage of that in round one. I've nailed Ian Poulter on a first round leader bet in the years past, so I know I'm going to go to Poulter. I believe he's in my core. Just a reminder, if you want to get into some, into our cores, get at us on FSI DFS on Twitter, and you can find us on our Discord chat, and you can get access to those cores as mentioned earlier. What else we have here? Yeah, Keith, it's working now. I hope it's been working the whole time. We'll see. I do like Zach Johnson. If the weather is going to be relatively bad tomorrow and they do decide to play through, Zach Johnson's a golfer that can perform well in those terrible conditions. Bryson or Rahm, straight up. I'm going Rahm, so give me Rambo. Just now started working. Sorry, man. All right. Well, it looks like I got 13 minutes in, but no big deal. I like Rahm. Give me Rahm straight up over Bryson this week. But I'm afraid to say quote me on it. I'm going to play both of them, but if I had to pick one, I'm going to go with Rahm. What do you think about a rule for MME optimizing to require 2 to 3 of the following: Rahm, Bryson, McIlroy, Brooks, Xander, DJ, Matsuyama, considering making it 3, which seems feasible on FanDuel, not DK. Okay. 2 to 3. Probably Bryson. You're going to want to have some DeChambeau in case he does pull out one of those amazing immaculate, Masters runs. You're going to have DJ, and you're going to have somebody low owned if you're trying to, run a 20 entry max or MME. So Bryson, DJ, and then my gut feeling is telling me Matsuyama. Xander is a close second to Matsuyama. Rahm, obviously, but if you're trying to pay up, well, it looks like Rory's higher than Rahm. Yeah, I would. My lean for golfer 2 would probably be Matsuyama for sure. Maybe Finau. Just wondering if you like the stars and scrubs across all 50 lines with no real balanced lines. I mean, if you look at the recent winners, like I think I seen a tweet today. I can't remember who tweeted it out, but the last guy outside the top 25 to win the Masters was Charles Schwartzel, and that was in 2011. So, like, you're gonna need a star because he's probably gonna win. So my theory here is stars and scrubs, because often you see a guy like, for instance, Justin Harding, come in 12th. And then there's been years past where Fred Couples will come out of nowhere in top 20. So, like, I'm the stars and scrubs for the Masters because it's easier to make this cut with only 90 golfers in the field and half of them being former champions in like the 80s or amateurs. So I'm going to go stars and scrubs with maybe 10% of 50 lineups with balanced approach, and then hope that somebody at like 30 to 40, 40 to 1 rattles it off and wins it, because as we know, you're going to need the winner to win a GPP. Maybe Hatton, Cantlay, guys like that, Simpson on FanDuel. If you start your balanced lineup with them, maybe Patrick Reed. You get winning upside hit there with Patrick Reed. The thing is about winning the Masters, it's, a life-changing event, and the pressure builds and mounts, and maybe someone in that low 10K range on FanDuel is where you start building your lineups. Matsuyama, Finau, probably be where I would start in a balanced approach, but you can probably afford 2 or 3 of those guys, and I would do 10% of that. Keep it going here for some ownerships calculated for DK. Just wanted to get that. Reading some Discord. The guys are saying it wasn't working, but we're up. Get back to some ownerships here. Some favorite plays. This 8K range is going to be it looks like a dead range. It is now all that matters. This 8K range looks like it's going to be a dead range. I don't think it looks like nobody's going to be playing Tommy Fleetwood. He seems to disappear when it comes to the States. But I think personally, if you only have to play 1 or 2 lineups with Tommy Fleetwood to get yourself above the field in ownership, I think that's a good idea. Gary Woodland, Keith, Gary Woodland, it looks like he lost like 50 pounds. He does not look good at all. And if we remember what happened to Bubba Watson in I think it was 2 years ago, Bubba Watson was playing some of the worst golf with a colored golf ball. He was, dealing with a lot of weight loss, and yeah, he needs a hot dog. He needs a couple hot dogs. He needs the hot dog eating contest to get back to where he was. I don't think there's any raw power in Gary Woodland's physique now, and I think he struggles this weekend. He's kind of struggled lately. I'm not really sure. He seems to be going opposite of what Bryson's trying to do, and a golf course like Augusta, I think, is going to kind of eat Gary Woodland up this week. I'm going to have no shares, and I think the ownership kind of says that with calculated ownership around 1%. I think everyone is off Gary Woodland. So maybe it's a decent GPP pick. Maybe he's hiding some form in that physique, but I don't know. I'm going to be out. It doesn't look like anyone's going to be playing the M. Mickelson answer range. I think everyone floats to Rose Fitzpatrick. Those are 2 guys that have some Masters history. Louis Oosthuizen is actually going to be popular. If we know Louis for anything, it's captain withdrawal. Him and Kevin Na just love to withdraw on you at any point in time. That would scare me away from Jason Day, but John really loves Jason Day this week, and he seems to be able to play through some of those back pains. But I'm gonna be not on the day train. I'm gonna be rolling with my guy Jordan Spieth this week, as I mentioned. I think Tommy Fleetwood makes for an interesting GPP pick. Calculated ownership under 5%. Nobody's going to be in on Tiger Woods, it seems. He's going to be coming in under 5% owned. It looks like Adam Scott's going to be lower than 15, and the chalk is going to be that Bubba Finau Matsuyama range. Patrick Reed also going to be a little bit of chalk, and decent ownership you can get with Morikawa. Looks like he's going to be low owned. Pretty good stuff on the calculated ownerships. I think that's a good thing we could start doing moving forward for our FSI subscribers. Well, I know I'm working in on 20 minutes, but it looks like we had some technical difficulties earlier. I'll keep it going. I'm not sure if you guys caught the rant I went on about some of these value plays, but I'll start in with under 7,200. I was talking to how I liked Lee Westwood and Jason Kokrak. Those are two guys that are probably going to be over 10% owned in most MME style formats. Poulter, another name. John really liked Van Rooyen. I think Siwoo Kim is going to be pretty popular, and I don't know if I'm going to be in on Siwoo Kim. I kind of like Zach Johnson, even if it isn't an ugly Masters. I think his strokes gain numbers are still doing fairly well. He played pretty well at the Shriners this past year. He's having a relatively good year. I like him going forward as well. Munoz has been a guy that's been playing really well. I nailed Molinari last week. I like Molinari a lot. I always place someone like Corey Connors and JT Poston and Harding, probably going to be my two favorite punts. And then Lanto, I could look to see for a fade, but he could surprise this year, so I don't mind Lanto. But that 6K range, that's really it. Charles Schwartzel, maybe 6,500. But yeah, it's brutal. Maybe Brendan Todd. Cameron Champ might be a guy because of his distance. I can see people playing. Getting just reading through everyone yelling at me on the Discord channel. Well, I think I'm going to end the stream here. If you caught some of those YouTube or some of those value plays, and it looks, he's like the postman. Yeah, I love JT Poston this week. I think he's coming on late in my lineups that I've been making throughout the day. I like him in Showdown. He's really good first round leader bet. I like him. I always play Poulter as well. Harding's going to be another name. Cam Smith. Yeah, Cam Smith's all over my cores. So I really like those value plays. Everyone knows about these, studs like Bryson, Rahm. It's not hard to pick those guys. But these value plays are where the lineups are won and lost. And, the guys I just mentioned are going to be vital parts of winning in your DFS lineups this week. So I hope you guys are enjoying this. I'm having quite a time. Hopefully we can get more people in next time, but maybe we can get some more guys in, and maybe we get more people watching this after it ends. But as always, guys, like and subscribe our videos. We love doing this for you, and I love doing all DFS content. I'm around for NFL and NASCAR, and I'm looking to bring this to you guys going forward. So every Wednesday night, try to catch me live for some golf before lock, and I'll take it easy, guys, and enjoy the Masters. In stream.